Hey everybody, Caleb here. Welcome back to the studio and thank you for joining me again as we go into this Memorial Day weekend. I am very excited. This is a great time of year. It's the beginning of summer where I'm at. A lot to look forward to, a lot to be thankful for. And this weekend I just wanted to talk about the art of moderation. All right, sitting here on the Friday before Memorial Day, just thinking about a topic that I've had on my heart for a while. I wanted to share some thoughts on, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it as well. Put it down in the comments below. But pipe smoking, to me, as I'm sitting here with some Haunted Bookshop and my most recent, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's a pipe I made. It's the most recent one. I posted a video on it. Start thinking about the art of moderation. Moderation seems to be something that we've lost in our society in a lot of ways. We live in a society of excess. Going into Memorial Day, there's a lot of outdoors activities and barbecues, and this is not meant to be a judgy video at all. It's just that in America we have a lot to be thankful for. You know, our nation has and is something that is unlike anything ever seen before in human history. We have more freedoms, we have more resource, we have more access than anyone else in the world. There are people all over the world literally dying or risking death to come here in droves to enjoy what we have. And insanely enough, there are people here that enjoy what we have, the freedom, the liberty, that are working overtime to destroy it. But I'll deal with those fools in a different video. So along that vein, let's talk about the art of moderation. Moderation and enjoyment of things. As a nation that has much, we are a nation given to excess in a lot of ways. And as a pipe smoker, one of the conversations I have occasionally with people is about pipe smoking from a perspective of health, from a perspective of theology. As a Christian, is something that does come up. And there's a lot of misconceptions about what constitutes something that's wrong for you, or when something becomes sin, or when something becomes wrong in its essence. And I'll give an example of wine in the Bible. Wine is the first miracle Jesus created. Contextually, it was wine in every way. It was wine with alcohol in it. If you read the story of the wedding he was at, you can understand, with basic level of knowledge, you can understand they were talking about wine. It wasn't grape juice. So wine in and of itself is not the issue, but the excess is the issue. When people become addicted to the excess of the thing, that's when the issues come for people. That's when the sin comes in from a theological standpoint, or the problems come in from a secular standpoint. Drunkenness, alcohol, that kind of. Similarly, tobacco is one of those things that when enjoyed in its natural forms and in moderation, as a pipe, like pipe tobacco, cigars, that kind of thing, there's very little data to support that it actually can have any real lasting harm that may damage you permanently, or end your life early. There's a lot of evidence to support cigarettes, though, being something that are extremely harmful. It's a different form, it's a different tobacco, and it's consumed in an excessive manner. Tobacco itself is not evil. It's not an evil leaf. It's not something that is just going to grow up and bite you from the ground and cause you death and harm and whatever. It's a very natural product, and it can be enjoyed with moderation in a natural way. And that's kind of the key to this argument. That's kind of the key to this discussion, is moderation. Where do we draw the lines? How do we as people kind of get back to a lifestyle of enjoying the world and what it has to offer in moderation and not in excess? Philosophically, for me, moderation is a discipline. It's a discipline habit. It's the same with food. It's the same with mostly things we put in our body. That seems to be where most people get in trouble, whether it's alcohol, tobacco, or food. Moderation in our time, moderation in our digital device, practices and stuff like that. I feel like to find any real balance in life and to be healthy, we have to live lives of moderation. We have to live lives of knowing where our boundaries are with indulgence in things, or practicing things, or participating in things, so that we can enjoy longer lives, so we can enjoy fruitful and healthy lives. We have to be moderate in our relationships. You can't be open to everyone all the time, and unhealthy people are not healthy people to have in your life. Take them in small doses, I mean, we all have those family members that are like 5 minutes and I'm done. That's enough. Or extended family members, or friend groups, or peer groups, or acquaintances. There's some acquaintances in the world that are best taken in moderation. Just some people, just personality types even. There are some people I would guarantee out there that would say that they have to take me in spades. They have to take me in moderate doses because my personality type just does not work with what they got going on. So I understand that. Don't take offense to it. But to me, pipe smoking actually is one of those things that kind of brought me back to a lifestyle of moderation. And I was a nicotine addict at one point. Like, I started chewing when I was 15 years old, and I was very quickly hooked, and it became addicted to that almost immediately. And I did it for 20 years. About 18 years, 15 years. I did it for about 15 years or so. And while I was in the military, I also smoked, and I smoked more socially than anything because everybody around me was smoking and chewing, so it was just kind of something we all did together. And you're sitting around bored a lot of the time, so. But when I got out of the military, I broke those habits. I actually quit for 10 years, and it was hard. It was hard at first, but I did quit, full stop, cold turkey, and I started. But I started replacing it with food, that kind of thing, and developed some other very unhealthy habits on top of that aside. And so I had quit those things, and I quit drinking alcohol and all that stuff for nearly 10 years. I just completely was off everything, because alcohol was kind of a problem too in the military. It's kind of normal, for a lot of the circles you run in. That's what people get involved in. So I quit all those things and kind of gotten back to a more devout lifestyle of practicing Christianity. But I started to excess in food and stuff like that too. So fast forward a few years, and I started about 5 years ago now, 3 and a half, 4 years ago, I started having some really bad health problems, and I had become a little bit overmuch. If you look at some of my older videos, my whole physique was different than it had ever been, since my younger years. I was healthy in the military. I was physically strong and active and all that stuff, and I really went off the rails, and I did not exercise moderation in a lot of portions of my life that I should have, and my health started to deteriorate. Given my family history, I was heading for the south end of the dirt real quick. Just given the family history I have, the men in my family, none of them have lived very long. Women too, just our family history has not been good. Most of it's because of excess, drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. Honestly, it's killed most of my family members before they were 60. So that was a hard look I had. I had a visit to the old hospital during the COVID era, but it wasn't because of that. I got it while I was there, so thanks to them for that. So that was fun on top of that aside, but the issues I was having were because of excess and other things. And so that went really south really quick, and so I had to start resetting my mind frame to adopting more purposeful habits of moderation in how I eat, what I eat, and how I think. I was having a lot of struggles mentally, a lot of not just health but mental struggles as well, that things had cropped up from years worth of damage that had never been dealt with, both from childhood and from some time in the military, that had just never dealt with. And I had excessive mindsets for consuming, social media and and doom scrolling, that kind of crap in the world, and all the crap that was going on, and all the injustice and raw, all that stuff. So I had become interested in pipe smoking from the perspective of making first. And I was scared to tiptoe into that world because I was aware of my own propensity for addiction. But I was pleasantly surprised to find that by picking up a pipe and enjoying something natural in its natural state in a moderate and disciplined way, it actually oddly provided me a lot of freedom, mentally and emotionally, from things that I had kind of suffered with for years. And I tested the waters very, very hesitantly at first because I was just interested, because I was going to be making them. So a thorough understanding of pipe tobacco and its qualities was kind of crucial to making a good pipe. Like making a knife. You're not going to make a very good knife if you've never used one before and you don't use your product. So, but I approached it cautiously, and I found it very easy to be moderate and to be reserved and to enjoy it and just enjoy the thing without it becoming a thing. I'll use example from the Bible. Paul talked a lot about, when he was writing letters to the Corinthians or something like that, talking about alcohol, specifically in food. Is like, it's not what goes in your body that defiles you, it's what you do with it after the fact. It's how you indulge in it and how you feed it. So food, alcohol, wine, those things are just not, tobacco even, they're just not sins in and of themselves. They're not something that's going to destroy your life in and of itself. It's what you do with it. And to me, the pipe has actually taught me a lot about myself, moderating, just being peaceful and enjoying something for just the sake of enjoying it. And then setting it aside and not letting it overcome or rule you or be a thing in your life. And I think if we can all find that balance in our lives, I applied that same to my habits of my diet and my lifestyle and working out and stuff like that. I reestablished some habits I had for working out and stuff while I was in the military, and I'm actually in better shape and healthier now than I was when I was in the military in a lot of ways. And I'm older. I'm 20 years older now, oddly enough. But the pipe has really helped me center on a habit and a lifestyle of moderation again, and I've really enjoyed the fact that it has that kind of quality to it. Let's call it pipe confessional. That's why I lean towards it, because it is an enjoyable indulgence. It is the process. There's a tobacco element of it. It just, the smells and there's something about tobacco. I don't know what it is. It is like the leaf. It is like the magic fairy dust leaf of our world, that has a lot of allure to it. And I can see how it takes people, because it has overtaken me in the past. But indulging in it in this form, I've found to be very pleasant, very peaceful, uncomplicated, and non-addicting. And I like that. And it's helped me balance a lot of things in my life. It's very odd to say, but picking up pipe smoking, something Christian friends I have are like, even people in the world are like, really? Like, yeah. It's helped me balance a lot of things. And I wouldn't suggest people get on the bandwagon just to be getting on the bandwagon. Start smoking a pipe and do it all the time. No. It's about moderation. It really is. Even Rick Newcomb in his books, and the other wiser, more experienced pipe smokers I talk to all kind of have the same. And these are guys that are in their 70s and 80s that have been doing this for 50, 60 years. Like, approach it with an attitude of moderation and you can enjoy it for years to come. And I think that's the truth with everything in our life. An attitude of moderation will at least mean your time here was well spent, balanced, and enjoyable. Thank you for joining me again. Have a happy Memorial Day. Celebrate what's important to you. Celebrate the people in your life. I hope you find fair winds, good friends, good pipes, and good blends. Have a blessed day.